Hi friends, I'm John Laspina. Addiction, again, is my topic today. I am going to talk about the dopamine receptors in our brain. Okay, we all have them. And you may not realize it because you're not a drug addict, but you're still supplying dopamine, which is a drug. It's a natural drug, like endorphins. You're supplying dopamine constantly. If you're on your cell phone and you play a game and you win, you get a dopamine hit. It's that little rush of happiness. If you are on the cell phone and you're talking to a friend and the friend makes you laugh, that's a little bit of a dopamine hit. If you eat some foods that taste delicious, that's a little bit of a dopamine hit. Dopamine is a natural endorphin drug that makes you feel good. When you're jogging, when you're running, when you're exercising, when you're cycling, when you're lifting weights, you are generating endorphins. You are getting dopamine hits to the brain. We like this feeling. Now, drug addicts, when they snort cocaine or they shoot heroin or they do any other kind of really addictive drug, they are getting the dopamine hits to their brain times thousands. And they are so high off of the rush that they've given their brain that when they come off of that, all they can think about is chasing the dragon. They chase that high again and again and again. Of course, they can never reach as high as they were before, and there is your drug addiction, sadly. As humans, we get these little microscopic dopamine hits when we smile, when we see something funny, say something funny, eat something delicious. We're getting them all the time. And just all I'm asking you to do in this video is to be conscious, be aware of your dopamine receptors. What gives you your dopamine hits? What makes you happy? What gives you pleasure? I'll share with you where my dopamine hits are. I get up in the morning without an alarm clock. I'm retired. But even when I wasn't retired, I still set the alarm because I was afraid I was going to miss the time. But I always would wake up between 5:30 and 6 o'clock a.m. That's my circadian rhythm. That's my body. Okay, everybody's different. And when I go for a bicycle ride, my bicycle's right here. When I go for my bicycle ride, I try to get out there before the sunrise. And while I'm riding, I get to see the sunrise. I don't know how to explain this. I get dopamine hits. I love the colors. I love to be out in nature and hear the birds singing and see the flowers and the grass and the people going to work, and I don't have to go to work because I'm retired. I get a dopamine hit. A lot of them when I bicycle ride. And then when I come back, because I've exercised, I get more dopamine hits because I'm getting that exercise consequence. Then I have a Bowflex revolution over here, and I work out almost, not every day, I take 2 days off a week, but I work out my biceps and my lat muscles on one day. Then I work out my pectoral muscles and my triceps on another day. And then I work my thighs and my calves and my abs and my latimus muscles on another day while I'm listening to my doctors and nutritionists on YouTube. And I get all these little dopamine hits from the exercise, from learning knowledge. I get all these aha moments and I get excited. They give me dopamine hits. When I learn something that I didn't know before and I go, oh, wow, that's so cool. I'm going to make a video about that. I never knew about that. I have to tell other people about that. That's my dopamine hits. Then I go inside and I prepare my videos. And around 11 o'clock, I make my first meal of the day, my break fast, because I haven't eaten since like 6 o'clock the night before. I enjoy cooking. I get pleasure from cooking. I get dopamine hits from making. It's creative, from assembling my eggs and my meat and the way I do it. And then, of course, eating. The way I make my food, I get all these dopamine hits all day long. I'm making this video for you right now with this green screen in my little home studio. I'm getting a dopamine hit because I enjoy this process of creating something for my viewers. And there are viewers who watch it, and I get a big dopamine hit when you leave me a message on YouTube. I'll get a flag that goes up. It says someone left you a message on YouTube, and it's like a reward center. Ooh, somebody wants to ask me a question, and I'll pull it up on my cell phone later in the day and I'll read it, and somebody got an aha moment from me and they're thanking me or something like that. That's a dopamine hit, and then I'll write back. I could go on for the rest of the day because it's only noon at that point, but that is an example of all the dopamine hits that people get. Try not to alter them with drugs. Try not to mess up your dopamine receptors with chemicals that are unhealthy for you. Stay as clean as possible. Eat clean foods, protein and healthy fats. Make them delicious. Salt your food. And find pleasure in doing activities and things that are good for you. And those dopamine hits are all day long, and you don't need drugs. You don't need alcohol. You don't need Xanax. You don't need sleeping pills. You don't need anything, because you are giving yourself these little happinesses all day long that are healthy. Don't eat snacks. Find something that gives you pleasure. I love to sing. I love to play musical instruments. I have a million things in my toolbox that I can do to give me dopamine hits. Find what works for you and indulge in them as long as they're healthy. Stay away from the unhealthy things like carbs and sugar and alcohol and all the bad stuff, because they may give you temporary dopamine hits, but they have negative consequences on the back end. Ladies and gentlemen, feel well by giving yourself good stuff, good food. Have a great day.